right, good evening, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don in here with you on your Tuesday evening, and we've got some strong thunderstorms out there again. We told you this morning on our primetime forecast we expected this to happen this afternoon, and here we are. We do have some strong storms out there. First, let's talk about the one over in southern Talladega County. That is moving off to the east-northeast, and we'll just give you the text of this one right quick. A strong thunderstorm will impact southern Talladega and western Clay counties through 6:45 p.m. At 6:10 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm near Sylacauga, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. Wind gusts to 40 miles per hour will be the main threat on that storm, and then we'll back out and take you down to Lee County and southeastern Chambers, where we have another special weather statement that has just been issued. We'll read the text of that to you as well. This is at 6:13 p.m. A strong thunderstorm will impact northeastern Lee and southeastern Chambers County through about 6:45 p.m. At 6:13 p.m., Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm over Beans Mill or near Opelika, moving northeast at 20 miles per hour. Wind gusts to 40 miles per hour, and pea-sized hail will be the main threat for that storm there in northern Lee, northeastern Lee, and southeastern Chambers County. You see it right there as we go in a little bit closer. This is a big thunderstorm that stretches from Roanoke Junction all the way up I-85. From just east of Opelika all the way up I-85 back over toward Bean Mill and the extreme western reaches of Lake Harding. This is going to continue moving off to the east-northeast. Blanton Valley most likely will get to see this storm in the next 15, 20 minutes or so. We back out and you can see that heavy rain continues from Manchester back to Hamilton down to Columbus. Then we going back up into Tallapoosa County, very heavy rainfall there just to the south and east of Alexander City along 280. That stretches back up into northwestern Tallapoosa County near Goodwater. Between Goodwater and New Site, we have very heavy rainfall. And then that special weather statement for the storm between Childersburg and Sylacauga. That'll be pushing off to the northeast. It'll be running right up that stair step between Talladega and Clay County. Heavy rainfall in the northern parts of Clay County at this hour near Delta, back up toward Chula Finney. Pockets of heavy rain, though they're small, in northern Randolph. This would be just south of Newell, between Newell and Woodland. Also near Pine Hill, Pine Tucky. And then in Cleburne County, moderate to heavy rainfall on 46 between Ranburne and I-20, back up toward Abernathy. And then over in Carroll County, a pocket of very heavy rainfall between Victory and Oak Grove, just to the northeast of Tyus and northwest of Roopville. Big mess over here in Atlanta. If for some unknown reason you're about to head toward Atlanta, you might want to second guess that, especially if you're going up here on the north end. We've got reports that Highway 400 or Interstate 400 and I-285 flooded out. Also some flooding over on the eastern side of Atlanta on 285. Understand traffic is just more of a nightmare than usual over there in Atlanta at this hour. And, of course, Birmingham's not in much better shape right now. Very heavy rainfall on I-459 out there at the 459 I-20 interchange. Extremely heavy rainfall just from about the probably the Galleria all the way back out to I-20 where it splits off and goes toward Tuscaloosa. And then on the north end up there, we have heavy rain as well. I-20, pretty much a complete washout from Atlanta all the way to Birmingham. Up there around Anniston, we've got very heavy rainfall taking place now from Chula Finney down to Delta. And then along the interstate from Oxford back over to the Highway 431 interchange. And then down Highway 9. I mean, look at that, coming down back toward Chehaw State Park. The Highway 281 coming back down Chehaw State Park, a complete washout. Highway 9 is also in bad shape from the crossroads up there back down through Needmore. and then through Delta. It lets up a little bit just north of Lineville, but just a horrible ride out there this evening for a lot of those roads around East Alabama and West, West Georgia. Good news here is nothing severe. These are just special weather statements for Talladega and Clay, and also for southeastern Chambers and northeastern Lee County. They're just special weather statements. That means that the weather is below severe limits in both of these areas, but they're strong, and we've got very heavy rainfall out there, and you're going to have just copious amounts of rain very quick. These thunderstorms are capable of producing an inch of rain per hour. So when these storms move overhead, I mean, it's going to be one of those situations where you can barely see your hand in front of your face. So driving is very dangerous in this type of weather. If you don't have to drive in it, then don't. That's just the best way to play this. Not only is it hard to see, hydroplaning becomes a major issue if you're out there on the highways, and you could certainly encounter some brief flash flooding, street level flooding in some of these storms this evening, especially if you're going to be traveling on unimproved dirt county roads. If you encounter water running across the road, don't cross it. It's getting dark. You don't know what kind of condition the road is in. Has it been compromised? Is that culvert still there, or is it gone? Water's flowing over the road. You can't tell. The pipe is not there. And then you go on an unexpected whitewater river raft ride. That's dangerous, folks. People lose their life doing that. Don't cross water, especially on dirt roads and especially at night. It's just not worth taking that risk. So I'm going to zoom out and show you the entire southeast, and this is not going to stop anytime soon. This is probably going to continue for most of the overnight hours. Now, it's not going to rain solid between now and tomorrow morning, but there will be periods of heavy rainfall. Then it'll slack up. You'll just have a drizzle for a while. Then maybe more heavy rainfall moves in. This area along and just south of I-20 and then along the I-85 corridor seems to be where the heavier precipitation is lining up this evening. So we'll be concerned about the possibility of some flash flooding on both I-20 and I-85. We already have flash flood statements out for North Atlanta. That's a flash flood warning that's in effect until 8:45 Eastern, or I'm sorry, 8:45 Central. So 9:45 Eastern. So another couple of hours or so on that flash flood warning, and that gets really the northern portions of Atlanta Metro, and it goes all the way up 85 up to the 985 split, where you turn to go up to Gainesville. I already know that we've had at least one most likely weather-related accident on 985 about an hour ago, where 985 was almost completely shut down up there. And then we have a second one that's on the northwest side of Atlanta, and that is a flash flood warning that goes out until 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. So that is Atlanta, Marietta, Sandy Springs, Smyrna, Vinings, and Mableton. That's up on the northwest side, up there where you head to go up I-75, right up there at Truist Park. That area is, we understand, is experiencing some pretty significant flooding at this hour. And then back in East Alabama, we have the flash flood or the special weather statement. We don't have a flash flood watch yet. That may be coming, but this is a special weather statement that goes until 6:45. So about another 16, 17, maybe 18 minutes on this. And this is for Talladega, Sylacauga, Childersburg, Ashland, Oak Grove, Waldo, Winterboro, Sycamore, Sylacauga, some other locations there, Chandler Springs, and then we take you down to Lee County, and we'll give you some locations down there in the path of this one. We are Let me go in a little bit closer where you can see it. And this is a special weather statement that expires at 6:45. So about another 17 minutes on this one, and this is for locations. It's got Opelika listed, but you can see clearly here that the storm has moved on to the east of Opelika. We're talking about Beans Mill, Blanton, Lake Harding, Valley, West Point, all locations in the path of this storm. And I think we just got an update on this one. Let me see if we can get the text of it up here, and I'll read it to you. No, that's a rebroadcast of the old one. So nothing new on this one. Obviously, the heaviest part of this has moved on up I-85. So the back side of it now is basically from about Casita to Beans Mill, and then back over toward Lake Harding. This is moving off to the east-northeast. So I think this does catch Valley. Lynette's going to be a close call. You do have some rain moving in, but if we put this, see if we can get this to go in motion for us, and we'll give you a sense of the direction it's moving in. Hey, Cragford, Alabama. You'll see there that it's moving maybe a little bit to the right of northeast. Yeah, I think Valley gets a good bit of this, and Lynette probably will catch at least the central and southern parts of Lynette will catch part of it as well. It's pretty much moving just a little bit right up I-85. I'll zoom out so you can kind of see what's going on here. The part of the storm in Talladega that's moving into Clay is probably going to end up moving across central Clay and then maybe northern Randolph if it holds together. We'll watch this cluster that's coming out of Coosa into north central Tallapoosa. That's what would affect southern Clay, southwestern Randolph down there, Wadley, eventually Roanoke if it holds together. Right now, nothing on this particular cell as far as special weather statements are concerned, but let me get the telestrator turned on. I think I feel some drawings coming on here. I need to show you what we're talking about. Yeah, we could see a special weather statement on this one pretty much at any time. This entire line is moving in that direction, and we're talking about this portion of the line moving in this direction. So if you come down here on the southern end, you draw it out. If you come up on the northern end and draw it out, then it's clear to see that if this line holds together, certainly going to get new sight. It will get the southern and southeastern corner of Clay. It's going to eventually make it up into Wedowee, Lake Wedowee, Almond, Malone, Wadley, Roanoke, Roxton, 5 Points, Budston, Pinnon. All of these areas will be in the path of this line of storms as it moves off to the northeast. At the moment, below special weather statement limits, below severe weather limits, and we don't have any flash flooding products with this either. But, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that we have some embedded heavier pockets of rain here. So very, very well could see some statements issued by from the Weather Service on this particular part of the storm as well. Let's see what the Weather Service has to say here. All right, so the National Weather Service, this is of interest. The National Weather Service in Peachtree City is upgrading their flash flood warning to considerable. You'll notice that all the warnings nowadays have basically 3 tags on them. Possible, considerable, and catastrophic, and some of them they're a little bit different from that, but they're upgrading the flood warning in North Atlanta to considerable. So that's an indication that there's some serious issues going on down there. There's a neighborhood in Cobb with approximately 20 homes that are flooded. Fire is currently assisting with rescues in that area. Cooper's Creek Circle off of east-west corridor. That's in Cobb County. They are confirming that there is flooding near Georgia 400 and I-285. Cars are stalled out in that area. So yeah, there. Don't come toward Atlanta. They've got we got a mess going on in the Atlanta area. I know it's getting dark out there, and just looking at the Birmingham website to see, or Birmingham chat room to see if they've got anything going on there. I just see some photographs of that shelf cloud that moved into Elmore County about 5 minutes ago. Well, it was posted 5 minutes ago. Hang on a second. Let me. All right, so that's going to be the leading edge of this line. So if it's still daylight enough outside to see, if you're in the maybe the Wadley area, Almond, Malone, you're looking back toward this cloud, that's going to be a shelf cloud. It looks ugly, and there are going to be pieces of rugged-looking clouds that are falling off of this shelf cloud as it's moving to the northeast. And to the untrained eye, you might start thinking that looks awfully suspicious. But understand, we don't have a tornadic environment here, so just understand it's a wicked-looking cloud coming at you. But right now, there's no indication of any type of rotation in this cloud at all. Really, the Weather Service in Birmingham not saying a whole lot about these storms. I believe they are about to pull the trigger on flood advisories for Jefferson, St. Clair, and northern Shelby. That's about all Birmingham is saying right now. Let me run over here to the chat room and let's see if there's anything in here I need to address. Jackie is watching us from Newell. Hey, Jackie. Mariah's watching us from Heflin. Tabitha. Tabitha says, I am in Standing Rock. When do I need to go grab my husband off his tractor? Yeah, I mean, you don't have anything. You zoom out just a little bit and we'll rock this back and forth. Probably this stuff that's crossing over 50 just west of Lafayette's what's going to end up there in your neck of the woods up here in Standing Rock. So, it really depends on how far away from the barn he is. I mean, if it's going to take him 30 minutes to get back to the barn, then he needs to be headed back now. I mean, if he's within 2 or 3 minutes of shelter, then give him another minute or two, unless it's thundering and lightning. If you're hearing thunder, he needs to get off the tractor. I mean, that's the safest course of regret, least course of regret, safest thing to do. If you can hear thunder, then it's time to put the tractor up and come on in the house. But as far as the rain is concerned, it may be another 10, 15 minutes before you start to see rain falling up there at Standing Rock. Kathy's watching us from Roanoke. Diane is watching us down in Lynette. Dakota's watching us in Randolph. Right down the road from my kinfolk. You must be over on the in the Corinth area. Jackie's watching us from Newell. Heflin, Alabama in the house. Well, thank you, Martha. There's my frog lady, Mary Wilkins, down at Frog Eye. Thank you, Sharon. Amber says it's beginning to rain in Lynette. James is asking about Auburn. Nothing in the Auburn area at the moment. Amy's watching us from Woodland. Chris is watching from Hightower, Alabama. Daniel, where is here? Daniel says pouring here. Where is here? Oh, okay. I see now. You said valley. All right. Well, hey, Daniel, welcome to the show. Gene's watching us from Abanda. Stephen's watching us. Hey, Wendy. There's a blast from the past. Me and Wendy worked together. Oh, my gosh. What was it? 92, 93, 94, somewhere right in there. At WLR in Roanoke, Alabama. Oh, Wendy, you're in. So Wendy works for Delta. I believe that's right. I believe it's Delta. And so she's watching us from 30,000 feet on her way to Atlanta. Isn't that cool? So what does the weather look like at the airport? Wendy, I got bad news for you. I think you guys will be able to land. But there are flood warnings on the north side. Sandy Springs back down toward Mableton. Now, that's not going to affect the airport. The airport, of course, is down on the south end of the town. But, all it takes is somebody to throw a banana peel out there on 285, and it clogs up the entire perimeter all the way around Atlanta. At the moment, you do have some pretty heavy rain right there in the vicinity of the airport, so they may make you guys circle a little bit before you can land, but there's nothing severe there around the airport at this hour. But traffic is not going to be a pretty thing, especially on the north end and the northwest side. We've got flood warnings up there, and they've just upgraded it to considerable, meaning that it is causing a problem. It's not just, hey, there may be some flooding out there. We got known issues, especially at the interchange of 400 and 285. We understand there are multiple cars stranded in that area. Hey, Reba. Good to see you in here this evening. Reba says, got thunderstorms and rain in Valley, Alabama. You're welcome, Wendy. Good to see you in here. Cragford, there's Chrissy Smith, raining in Cragford. So yeah, there you go. There's the wide shot, at the moment, the two areas that actually, I've got three areas that I'm concerned with, and we're just going to step through as far as flooding is concerned. I'm not really that concerned about severe weather right here, but look at that right there in Atlanta. That's a problem, and then this area. In East Alabama, we're talking about extreme eastern. Now, there comes a brand new special weather statement, and this is going to get all of Clay, Randolph, Northern Chambers, and northeastern Tallapoosa. Primarily for that area, I just put a circle around. And then down here around Lynette Valley, West Point. And my concern in all three of those circles is for extremely heavy rainfall, creating very dangerous driving conditions, both from visibility and from hydroplaning and from localized street level flooding. Those are the issues we're going to have here with these storms this afternoon. I mean, we're getting some hail markers on some of this stuff, but if there is hail, it's going to be very small. I think what the radar is seeing is a nearly 100% saturated column, so it thinks it's frozen. But basically what it is we got a fire hose open, and there are no dry voids within that stream of rain, so it's seeing that density, and it's thinking that it's hail. It's thinking that it's solid, but it's not. So that's a good indication of just how heavy it is raining in some of these locations within those areas where I just drew the circles on the screen. And of course, the bad news for Atlanta, and Wendy, if you're still watching, the bad news for Atlanta is this is moving in that general direction. Now, I mean, it's going to be a while before it gets up there, and you do have heavy rain right over the airport right now, but there's more coming. I mean, so this could be there are problems in Atlanta right now, and just about the time things start to get a little bit better, then here comes more rain that's going to make things worse even again. So could be a long night up there in Atlanta, GA. So again, we've got a brand new special weather statement just issued by the National Weather Service out of Birmingham, and we will see if I can get that to come up. All right, so this is a special weather statement issued at 6:43. It expires at 7:30 p.m. Central. The storm is moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. So it would take a couple of 2-3 hours to make it up into the Atlanta metro area. Maximum sustained winds of 40 miles per hour. And this is going to be in effect for Tallapoosa, Calhoun, Clay, Talladega, Randolph, Cleburne, and Chambers. A strong thunderstorm will impact east central Talladega, Randolph, southeastern Calhoun, northeastern Tallapoosa, northwestern Chambers, southern Cleburne, and Clay counties through 7:30 p.m. At 6:43, Doppler radar was tracking a strong thunderstorm along a line extending from near Waldo to 7 miles south of Lineville to near Jackson's Gap, moving to the northeast at 35 miles per hour. The hazard with this storm is going to be wind gusts of up to 40 miles per hour. Now, understand that they don't issue typically special weather statements for heavy rain. They typically don't issue special weather statements for lightning. And there is not a criteria for severe warnings as it relates to lightning and heavy rain. Those are two elements that I hope at some point they add to the decision making when they're issuing warnings, because it is life threatening. Lightning will kill you. I mean, it is very dangerous. And rainfall falling at the rate we're seeing tonight is very dangerous also. I just think it should be part of the special weather statement and the warning process. I know they're looking at lightning as being part of that process, but very heavy rainfall, don't think so. They probably will continue to handle that with flood advisories and flood warnings, but nonetheless, we have extremely heavy rain falling across central, southeastern Clay, northeastern Tallapoosa, eastern Talladega, northwestern Randolph, southern Cleburne, and then we have heavy rainfall crossing into Georgia, crossing over the Lake Harding area. Things will start to improve now in Lynette and Valley, Shawmut, Langdale, already improving down around Casita. So things will get better pretty quick down right along the Chattahoochee Valley region there between Lynette and Lake Harding. Heavy rain about to move out of Pine Mountain, but don't take your umbrellas down if you're over there at Pine Mountain, because more is on the way. We have lost the special weather statement for the Lynette Valley area. That has gone away. Auburn's fine at the moment. Just some scattered showers down around Tuskegee that will move back over the Auburn area. We have a special weather statement for that storm sitting just east of Montgomery. That doesn't look as significant as it did a few moments ago. But nonetheless, very heavy rainfall out there on the interstate, out there around the 231 intersection with Highway 85, Interstate 85. So out there around St. James, some very heavy rainfall taking place also. So that's what we're looking at this evening. Again, this is not a severe weather outbreak, but certainly a lot of rain. Some thunder and lightning is taking place out there this evening. We've got, and you can see it, I just put it up on the screen so you can kind of see where the lightning output is. A lot of lightning output around the Thomaston area. That's over in Georgia. But we go back in a little bit closer on East Alabama. Okay, that's not what I meant to do. You can see where the lightning is taking place. Yeah, it's kind of scattered throughout the entire line. Heads up Wadley. This line is moving right into the Wadley area. Eventually we'll make it over to Roanoke as well. But again, nothing severe. But look, I mean, look at this. Actually, I'll tell you what let's do. Let's take the next rad off and let's go with a composite. I want to see just how far back to the west. Yeah, so this extends all the way back south of Houston. A little bit of a break right there in eastern Louisiana, but you can see how far to the south and west the rain extends this evening. Now, as we lose the heating of the day, the rain will start to calm down, and we won't see these heavier thunderstorms, but I think we got one of those sot-in rains that's going to be with us most of the night across East Alabama and West Georgia. That's what my granddaddy used to call it, sot-in. That means it's going to rain. Hey, Terry Gray, good to see you. Gene says it's raining in Abanda. Hey, Pamela. Good to see you. Thank you, Ace. Brandy says it's pouring at the Gap, Jackson Gap. So Their front yard is flooding. Foster's Crossroads, pouring rain. Thank you, Jerome Cofield. Good to see you. Thanks, Rob. Got a lot of folks in here from Jackson Gap tonight. Good to see you guys in here. Yeah, Stephen, it should be, weather conditions should be improving in Valley. This stuff should be moving away from you. Yeah, Casita should have a pretty good light show going on. That you're looking back to the east as that storm now is moving over the state line into Georgia. It's going to continue moving pretty much kind of right along the county line there, northwestern Harris County. I mean, it's trying to extend a little bit north. It's up there around the Kia plant right now, the north end of it. So it could run right along and just south of I-85. LaGrange, you're probably going to get a little rain out of this, but unless it extends a little bit further north, I don't think you're going to get the heavier stuff. All right, folks, so we're going to be watching this offline, and if we start to see something that we think is concerning, then, of course, we'll be right back with you. But, again, let me reassure you, folks, in East Alabama, we're talking about Central Clay and all of Randolph and Northern Chambers, northeastern Tallapoosa, Northern Chambers, all of Randolph, eastern and central Clay, and across the southern portions of Cleburne. You're under a special weather statement for winds gusting to 40 miles per hour. That's really not my concern. My concern here is the copious amounts of rain. I mean, you could very easily pick up 1 to 2 inches of rain as this line of storms passes. On top of all the rain that we've already received over the last several days, this water really has nowhere to go. So it's going to run off. It's going to hit those creeks. It's going to hit the rivers, and there could be some low-lying flooding here. Could cause some problems, especially on the dirt roads. Wash those culverts out. If you're out driving this evening, I hope you're not, but if you have to be out in this, make sure that you don't cross water that's flowing over a gravel road. You don't know if the roadway has been compromised. And be safe out there. We're going to watch this, and if we see anything going on that I think you need to know about more than what I've already told you, then we'll be right back, and we'll continue our coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather. I encourage you to support us if you can, folks. All the different options to support us, scrolling there in the chat room. They're all safe. They're all secure. We depend on your support to be able to continue to do this. We've been doing it now for a little over 5 years, and we want to be doing it 5 years from now. But this is a very expensive venture. So the folks you see scrolling, our supporters, and you individually, very important to support us here at Dr. Don and to keep us going. And also, please do all the social media stuff. Like us, share us. Go over to our YouTube channel. Subscribe to our channel. Click that little notification bell so that when we go live to cover severe weather, you'll get the notification. And I'll be back in here a little bit later on if we think there's a need. If not, I'll see you back in here first thing tomorrow morning with our primetime forecast from Dr. Don's Weather.